I hope they help. Yeah.
It's a one year.
Mhm.
It's 1 year. Isn't this name?
I felt like we were going to be back in that one. It was hot the first time,
It
so I
was
was like, I dressed a little bit more
Yeah.
freer.
Same.
That good? Everybody? Okay, Nelly, welcome back.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, of course. Thank you for coming back and joining. Last session we talked a lot. I was very all up in your things, all the things about you guys, your relationship, how you are personally. So I just want to do a quick check-in about how, like, coming out of that session, how did you feel? Any thoughts come up for you?
It was good. I think like we don't talk about that stuff often, so it's like
Mhm.
good to go over it and like hear the stories again. But it was good.
Mhm. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was very, um, it felt very genuine. It was very open and honest, which I enjoyed. Like you said, we don't talk about it often, so it's good to, re-explore.
Shoot. And when you say that y'all don't have those conversations often, is it just like they don't come up, or is it just like or is it like possibly an apprehension about talking about those topics?
I think they just don't come up. Like
Gotcha.
those are like really deep topics that
Right.
I feel like we talked about that stuff a lot early on in our relationship.
Right.
And like I feel like we just remember those details about each other,
Mhm.
but I think we're comfortable still talking about them, like if they come up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, it's good to hear that, it was a little cathartic to kind of get, like, rehash some of those things
Yeah.
and kind of just explore it.
Mhm.
Oh, good, good, good. Now, since then, kind of update me because it's been a couple of weeks. So, what's been going on in your guys' lives? What's been going on?
Work. No, but
Right.
life has been pretty good. We just celebrated Easter with my family. Um, this Easter was a lot different, because we usually go to my grandma's house. But it was very fun. Most of the kids came over to my mom and dad's house. Her grandmother came and celebrated with us, which was really good for her to meet my family. And yeah, it's been pretty cool, pretty chill. I'm just trying to take it day by day. Things they call life.
Yeah. Awesome.
Easter was nice. I feel like our families are like trying to meet each other more, integrate more, so that's been new. But it's been good. Yeah, we've just been navigating. We have our high moments and our low moments, but
Well, I love because when we wrapped up last session, and one of the future that you guys painted out was a more like a stronger union. Talked about marriage a little bit. So y'all taking that step to further enmesh like your families that's a big step.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it yielded a good result.
yeah, it was really nice. It was a really nice.
Mm. Excuse me, I had a thought and it just right out the window. Because again, I because of like that last part of the session when y'all spoke on the marriage thing, that just again kind of rehashing that, just seeing that process of you kind of going into that further integrating and exploring different parts of yourself, especially when it comes to family.
Yeah.
Because with your partner, you're one person, and there's other things that come with it as you start bringing in family. So getting those two identities to kind of come together. Now, Kay, you also spoke about having highs and having lows, kind of natural. Paint a picture for me about what that specifically looks like for you.
We have days like I feel like it's typical in a couple.
Yeah.
Like, we have days where we're like cool, we're like working in it, and some days we just like clash. And so I don't think we have many days like that. We have probably one or two where we're like, I'm not rocking with you today.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to like work through, but I think it was like probably more highs than lows.
Well, we love to hear that.
Yeah.
But you use the word clash.
Mhm.
Nelly, from your perspective, what does a clash look
A clash usually looks like, I wouldn't even say like it's like in the exact connotation of clash because it's not like we're at war,
like? Right.
but because a lot of couples do be at war, but I feel like it's more so of a a tug of war of like who's getting hurt at that moment for us. And I know like even just us going through and rehashing, you know, certain childhood traumas and stuff like that in the last session, it kind of gave me more insight on like what's really going on when we do clash. And like from my perspective, I don't want to speak for my partner, but like from my perspective, thinking about it more even after, you know, we went through it and got over it,
Right.
like we're both still trying to like fully accept, because I feel like we've done a better job even since like we first started talking about that being an issue in our relationship. I feel like we're just both trying to fully accept that like I can say something once and the other person really hears me. And I know that was a problem for us growing up with our parents and stuff like that, not feeling heard. So like that's usually what our clash is usually like. Something happens, one of us has an emotion, and like we're both trying to like hear each other out, but also be heard.
So it's that middle ground of like, hey, I want to be present for my partner, understand where they're coming from, but you still want to be able to acknowledge your own feelings.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Thinking back on to last session, y'all kind of gave me an idea of how the two of you kind of like the dynamic where Kay, you're more when you're over it, or you're kind of not. I won't say over it. When
That's a good
you're
word.
when you're feeling overwhelmed, you more so withdraw.
Yeah.
And Nelly, you're somebody that just affirmation. Like you want to reconnect.
Yeah.
So having that having those two opposing sides, you know, you wanting to potentially being a little bit more open and kind of being a little bit softer, and Nelly kind of understanding when it's might be a little overwhelming for Kay to attend to you.
Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, because I know you guys said that you have more highs than lows. On a scale of 1 to 10, how one being like oh, the clash is it happens and we completely forget about it, or a 10 where it's like, oh, we had a little moment and like now it's really weighing on me. How would you categorize the couple of clashes that you've had?
I would say like a 5.
A 5.
Like,
Okay.
I'm upset. It'll hurt my feelings. But like, it's the end.
Okay.
For me, I would say more so like a 3 maybe. A 3, not maybe, yeah, 3. It's like for me, yes, like I have like I acknowledge that my feelings might be hurt or something like that, but I'm always under the like pretense that like, all right, it happens. I could have did something to prevent it, or I could have handled it better. But at the end of the day, we gonna work it out and keep trucking. Like, there's nothing that's gonna like deter us or like pull us apart.
When y'all have those moments, what does conversation what does the de-escalation look like? Ooh, space.
I want space.
Okay.
And I feel like I've done better about like trying to like go back and trying to
Mhm.
discuss, but sometimes I need space. Because even after like say we'll have an argument issue, we talk about it, like I'm still hurt. Like,
Right.
and I feel like he's just like, yeah, it's done. And I'm like,
Mhm.
the feelings are still there. So I think that's how it like happens at the end. But during, we usually like try to talk about it, try to like calm calm ourselves down and like be on a better level, like not be
Right.
heightened. Um, and like talk about it, and we'll try to reconnect at the end. And sometimes it's like, okay, we good, we good.
Mhm.
And that's like how we know we're fine.
Gotcha.
It doesn't always end in like a hug or a kiss.
Uh-huh.
Like sometimes we just be like, you good, I'm good, we cool, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty much hit the nail on the head. Like, she's more of the like want space and wants to like deal with her feelings and stuff, and like rightfully so. And like, I'm more so the like she said, like, all right, it happened, it's over, and like, it's not like the feelings go away. It's just that like, not to get spiritual, but like tomorrow's not promised. So like for me, it's like the quicker we can like reconcile this and like go back to just being in each other's good graces is just something like psychological for me. Not being able to like say goodbye to people, or like not be on the best terms with people before something happens. So like that's just me like not wanting that for the both of us, because like as much as I know I wanted to like. She's like, I wouldn't want something to happen to her and we were in a bad space. I know she wouldn't want vice versa for something to happen to me and we'd be in a bad space. So I try to just be good bud.
Okay, you made a text. Tell me about what's going on with that.
I don't know. I thought it was more so just like, it's done, it's done. Like I didn't realize it was that deep. Like what?
There was a deeper undercurrent.
I didn't know.
Is that just one of those things that just never came up, or?
I guess, but I don't think we ever just like talked about why, like our differences in terms of like reactions.
I think it came up for you like more so like one time when I tried to like hey, you all right, bud? And like you explained that how like you just need time and space, and like that's why when I said before, like rightfully so, you want to do with your feelings. Like I get it. But, that's just the reason why I'm trying to make the wins. Sooner than later.
I didn't know that, and I think sometimes for me that translates as like you trying to like rush me to like be over it, but I understand like now that's what you.
Is that that idea of like not wanting to be rushed to like process your feelings, does that contribute to the score that you gave the classes a 5 on the scale? Does that contribute to that at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, not the end, but like these feelings are still very much here for me.
Okay.
So I just need the time to feel the feelings, think about the situation, and really like figure it out in my brain.
So in the future, what would it look like for those little stats? Instead of it being a 5, what would it look like for it to be a 4?
I think part of it contributes to like how we both react, and so like making sure that like how we react to the scenario, is still kind, like it's still level. And so that probably would ease my ability to like process it. But I feel like sometimes when we get heightened, that makes it even harder for me to process it because I'm like, I'm angry, he's angry. It's a lot of things happening in my brain. So I think to get to a 4, just like making sure we're both, even if we're like upset, making sure our reactions are still like our interaction per se is still kind, and like we're still, I we're just like, okay.
And now the same question, because you gave the clashes, like how they feel to you, you gave it a 3. What would make it a 2?
For me, I think it would be something that I need to work on, which is like sometimes when we have conflicts, like I feel like my points are not getting like across. Like I just feel like we're not like on the same page. I wouldn't say like I get belligerent, but I do get like a little animated. That's just because I'm just passionate, and like it could come off as like I'm trying to like overpower you in a in a in a in a spat, and like that does kind of contribute to like it getting escalated. So like staying a little bit more like I wouldn't say calm. It's not like I lose control, but like keep the peace a little bit more and level. And yeah, or like if I just feel like the conversation is not going anywhere, just being okay with like listening to it and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what it would look like for me.
Because I remember in our first session, we talked about how, as a kid, the only time you got a response or you felt like you were acknowledged was having the more bigger displays of emotion. So I can understand how that would continue to play out in this situation. Um, so in future kind of disagreements or heightened spaces, what is something that you would want from Kay so that you know that she's attending to your emotions? You're being perfect.
Um,
And actually look at how we say it.
yeah. um, for for me, it would be just more of an acknowledgement of like why I'm feeling how I'm feeling. Because sometimes it feels like there's just like there's an explanation before the acknowledgement, and sometimes that feels kind of like backhanded. So just the acknowledgement, because like that's really all. Like I get stuff happening, and like sometimes like things could be just like a miscommunication, or like we ain't gonna always be happy go lucky 24/7, but like just the acknowledgement of it kind of like put me at ease. I guess it kind of like make my guard go down, to where like I'm not feeling like I have to like overly like emphasize like I'm like upset or I'm hurt about something.
So
We always revisit this point of like, I asked him to like tell me. So I'm like, tell me how you would have liked me to say it. So that would be helpful.
okay.
Yeah. Because I get what you're saying, but sometimes I don't know how to like say it in a way that like resonates for you. You can tell me. So like even that like when we went through the other day, how would I have like acknowledged your feelings and then also explained? Or should I just not explain?
No, I mean like in that scenario was like what was the problem? Like I understood why, but it like didn't negate the fact that like I was just tired, like, and I was already like thinking about a lot before I actually came to bed, and it's just like being woken up, it was just extremely irritating. Not that like what you woke me up for wasn't valid, but like at the end of the day, like I just felt like yeah, I hear you, but like it still doesn't negate that like that would have probably pissed anybody off. And like, if it would have just been left at that, and then
At
like,
what?
at just like, okay, that upset you, cool, just, you like, you can be upset, and we just leave it there until maybe the next morning. It wasn't like 4 o'clock in the morning at that point, so like, yeah, for me it was just like, the circumstances was just like, I understand why, but then like, it was still like, very like, just naturally it was like irritating, but like nothing like I can't get over it. But like in that moment, I was just like I just want to go to sleep. But,
So it wasn't so much what was being said; it was the time and the place where the conversation
yeah,
was happening.
Let me fill you in.
Okay. Yeah, just a little bit of context.
He snores.
Uh huh.
And so sometimes at night I would like push him or tap him or move him because I want him to wake up because I'm a light sleeper
Right.
and he wakes me up sometimes. And so I like pushed him. What did I do? I like pushed you to wake you up.
yeah, but like it was like a like
Yeah, I was like tapping him to wake him up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'd like do it inadvertently at this point. But I was tapping him to wake him up, and then he like got up, and then he went to like the couch and he came back and got his pillow, and he was like huffing, and I was like, okay. And so he left out, and then that's when like the conversation ensued, and I was like, what's wrong? Like, my bad. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean for you to like leave. I just wanted him to like roll over because I know if he's like on one side, he won't snore. And so I like pushed him to roll over, and he left, and it was we're recording right now.
Sorry.
We're recording.
Oh, no, I was looking to see if anybody can move there with the laptop.
I have not.
Sorry.
But yeah, I pushed him to wake him up. He got up, he got upset, and then like that's when the whole thing happened. And it was like 4 in the morning.
So, thinking back onto that just a little bit, Nelly, what was the feelings that were come up for you after you woke up and had the conversation?
yeah, like for me, honestly speaking, I only like really like got like upset when like it was like I got up. I was upset, of course, but I was upset of like being woken up. Like I like again, like I said, like I understand like she's a light sleeper, whatever. So like it was just like when I had told her like, yeah, you waking me up and like, cause like usually she could like tap me and like I could be half asleep and roll over and I wouldn't even remember that I woke up to roll over or something like that. But like that time, like I had fully like woken up out of my sleep. I had like just went to sleep, so like it was just like that was like really like just me being upset about that. I just wanted to like just sleep through the night, and then like it kind of felt like she was like like I don't want to say over explaining, but it sounds kind of rude, but like it just like felt like she was just like trying to justify her waking me up, like as in like I shouldn't have been upset. And that's what made me like really upset. And it's like, I get it, but like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, man. Like I'm like, I don't care if Jesus Christ woke me up right now. I'm gonna look at him a little crazy too. So like, that was really like the real like trigger for me, like actually getting like actually upset about it. Cause like, again, I've been snoring for I don't know how long, and I get like sometimes some people can't sleep through it. Like me, like my dad snores, so like I didn't already learn to tune it out at this point. You feel me? But everybody not the same. I get that, which is very valid. So like that for me was it.
Okay.
So just a situation where the explanation didn't so much validate the feel, like it almost invalidated that experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, to your side of things, what is because you said that it's hard for you not to shut down when you're being overwhelmed by the way the communication is going. what is something that you would want from Nelly to kind of reduce the desire to kind of withdraw in those situations?
I think he kind of touched on it, but
Mhm.
it's gonna be a little area, so just kind of like remaining level. Because I feel like you want to take it there, then I want to take it there, and then we get to a point where it's like, okay, this is not.
That's a tit for tat.
Yeah, very tit for tat. And then, yeah, it kind of goes left. So I think remaining level and like both of us just being calm.
Okay. So maybe as soon as you notice some tension happening, doing like a deep breath and being like, hey, this is how I feel.
Yeah, that would probably be helpful.
Okay.
Even if we like both just like stop.
I
Yeah.
really think a safe word would help. I think we talked about it briefly like one time. I'm like a safe word in those moments would kind of help. Because that way it's like, no matter what, whichever party says it, like, all right, it's getting to a point where we just need to take a beat, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, a day, whatever. Until we build that skill, because like you said, like, we don't want to keep like going through it. Like, just make a mature decision to like, and that's what me as well. To like, as much as I want to get my point across and through, like, it's not conducive for a healthy relationship to like beat a dead horse.
This safe word conversation is very interesting. Is you said that y'all lightly talked about it.
I think it was like the beginning of our relationship.
With in situations kind of like how y'all described, is that something that y'all would be open to like implementing if there was ever a time where discussion or kind of a conflict got a little too heated and was past the point being like a hey, Brad, or whatever the case may be, or an established word?
I think it would be helpful.
Yeah, because it can safeguard like, because like there are situations where like, okay, as uncomfortable as this is, like you just have to have it.
Right.
And then there's little petty situations where it's like, bruh, in 24 hours or like 36 hours, you're not even gonna really care or remember why you even got mad over this. So it could be like to safeguard from like petty things, like be like, all right, it don't need to go here about this. This ain't even worth it. Let's just put a pin in for right now and come back. Because like those little situations, if you do like keep happening and you're not like or not on it, could build up to something. Could build up to like, all right, it's the 4th time you done yelled at me about this, and so like I feel like it'd be beneficial, like just to like as a precautionary. So you never be too careful.
So if that's something that you guys are open to in those types of those types of moments that happen in a relationship, that might be an established a goal that y'all might want to work into. Like we establish a word today. Like what is a word that I know that my partner is at their breaking point and we don't want to go over that.
Reset. We need to reset.
Reset.
Rewind and try again.
So like a word like rewind, and that's your marker that, hey, we're gonna come back to this conversation. Your needs are gonna be met. I'm gonna hear you out, but right now, we're not in a space for us to have a conversation where we're both coming out of it feeling heard and respected.
Yeah.
So I'll challenge you with this goal within like the next 2 months, because I know you said that these little things don't happen often, and sometimes it's just petty stuff. But within like the next 2 months, just be intentional about like as soon as you feel you're going over the edge because of the discussion, hit with the rewind.
Yeah.
And take your 5 minutes, take your 10 minutes. A day is a day, even if it's something that requires a little bit more reflection, a little bit more of a de-escalation.
Yeah.
Something that, well, interesting. and
Yeah.
then you work out.
No, for sure.
Because sometimes we do need to just
We will.
pause.
Mhm.
But yeah, we can try that.
And I think that might just again that's a space for both of y'all. One for you, Natalie, to that's a kind of a word to be like, okay, she's overwhelmed right now, but she's not gonna leave me hanging, and she's gonna be open to hearing me out, just not right now.
Yeah.
And then Kay, for you, it's just like that's your little designated space to be like, okay, I'm gonna withdraw just a little bit. I'm coming back.
Yeah.
But I just need to regulate just
Yeah.
a little bit, and then you can come back and go
Yeah.
have that exchange.
Mhm.
I'm glad that we got to that little goal.
Mhm.
My question for you for the both of y'all are, if you guys had, I'm gonna say what perfect means for you, your perfect relationship, how would you know that y'all reached that point?
If we had a perfect relationship, probably not.
Yeah.
I think part of it is like a feeling. It just feels right. It feels natural. Feels secure. Consistent. And I say, I think I would know with perfection when it's like we're like a fine-tuned machine at that point. Like nothing can really shake us, and we like are able to bounce back, lean on each other. Yeah, I think that's what it would feel like to like be perfect.
Well, for me, I would say my idea of like relationships are kind of different than most people. Because I've seen like long-term 50-year marriages. I've seen short-term 3-month relationships that turn into 50 months of counseling. I mean, 50 years of counseling for some people.
Right.
But for me, I heard this one quote from this guy I watch a lot. He said that his therapist told him that perfection starts at inception, and if you have flaws at inception, then chasing for perfection is kind of like out of the question. But I do think striving for perfection is something that we all should do. So like for me, it's like I know we'll never be perfect, but I do feel like that for me, when it comes to relationships and like how I like treat every one of my relationships, because how you do anything is how you do everything. And like for me, my perfect relationship, just in like relation to like two people, whether you're friends, dating, brother, sister, mom, child, like as long as you both like wake up every day and like consciously choose each other, do whatever. Like I feel like that's the best we can do. Like I mean, yes, there's hearing each other out. There's you know being there, showing up for each other, taking heed to their interests and try to show up for them in those spaces. But like for me, it all boils down to like just choosing each other every day. And I know I wake up every day without a shadow of a doubt that I choose you. So hope it's the same. But yeah, like and like I know it's not as simple, but like in my heart, like it's that simple. Like if I say I love you and I choose to love you, then like whatever comes with that, whatever we need for it to come with that, is what I do. So yeah, so just choosing each other.
Okay. How about that? Especially that point where you understand that regardless of the situation, you're always choosing your partner. And that's beautiful. Considering both of your visions of what a perfect relationship would look like, because to that point, perfection in relationships is always going to be subjective. And what I like to tell people is that the perfection isn't a flaw. So being okay with, the bumps. But to your point again, Kay, that well-oiled machine where you have bumps, you have spats, you have clashes, but then you address it and you move on like that.
Yeah.
Still addressing and still like attending to those
Yeah.
feelings, but nothing can shake you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So reflecting on both of your points or idea of what perfection would look like for you, what is a goal that the two of you would want to work on to move to get a step closer to that idea of perfection for you guys?
Beyond the communication part.
Yeah, or if that's something that you guys really want to hone in on. But if there's another one, we have another one. We love goals here.
Well, I know for me, I would, cause we do a pretty good job of like sharing our interests with each other, but I feel like as time moves on and we get more serious, can't get more serious for what we doing, more serious and more deeper, and the eventual like God willing family comes along. We thought we were spending a lot of time with each other now, but when she got a little baby running around, like that's your like point of like entertainment, your point of refuge, like your family that you're building. So I feel like us diving deeper into each other's interests and like being like more supportive and exploring each other's like interests and hobbies deeper because she's a planner. And like just seeing like how much like my friends are like with their partners and like how much like you gotta tone down going out with your friends. Like I was going out with my coworkers this weekend. Yeah, little baby, that ain't gonna happen for that's only once in a blue moon. So like being okay with like with your partner and stuff like that. I feel like that's a goal we could like work towards, like diving into each other's hobbies deeper and showing up each other's hobbies.
I think that's a good goal to reach towards. I think that's something we've always like kind of come back to in terms of like how do we like show interest in each other's hobbies, and also like remain grounded in things that we like to do. So like still meshing, but also like enjoying our independent things. And so I like that as a goal. Yeah.
Within like the next 2 months, what is one part of that goal that you want to address or explore?
I feel like I've started, like in terms of like his interests, I feel like I'm doing better of like trying to explore the things that he likes to do, and like make time to like join him with his interests. I feel like it's hard for me because like my only interest and hobby right now is school. So I'm like trying to also like rediscover things that I like and things that I enjoy outside of school. But I think once that kind of dies down, bringing him back into like my interests would be nice. Yeah.
So, because school is that is overwhelming.
It is.
And it occupies a lot of time. How how would you plan on, you know, finding those pockets of time where you can pour into that goal?
I think this summer it'll be a little easier.
Uh-huh.
Because like I like music, I like festivals and stuff. So
Mhm.
like bringing him out with me so we can enjoy those things together.
Right.
I'm usually the one who like buys us the tickets for concerts and stuff. So
Mhm.
continuing to do that will be fun in terms of like us really bonding and connecting. And that's something that's like feasible because it's not an everyday thing, but it's often enough to like get to enjoy each other. We get to do it together and like we feel bonded.
So Nelly, you had that goal. Y'all are sharing the same goal. What are some steps that you would want to do to meet that goal?
I would say I could do a better job of making my interests more digestible for her. But I remember when I was trying to get her into like watching sports for me, with me, I kind of explained it like Housewives, and like
Real.
then she got it. She was like, "Oh wow, that's crazy! Like I actually want to see the storyline." So like, and I actually enjoy stuff like that because like I remember growing up and like a lot of my female friends like would hang around the guys and us and like we'd be talking about sports and they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Like we would like name off like stats and stuff in an argument and they'd be like, "Y'all speak English?" So like learning to like make it digestible for them and like they started enjoying it like it kind of brought me like a new avenue to like I like to be silly but like play around but like actually like you know explain it in a way that like they could get it and now they're interested now they start doing their own research and now they start to like you know just fall in love with it like I do so like I feel like I could do a better job of like keep doing that and you know, finding pockets of interest in my interest for her as well. So like, you know, as much as I would want her to enjoy the things that I enjoy, how I enjoy them, like being okay and able to like see it from her perspective and like see my interest or hobby through a new light and like, you know, just being more aware and present for her in those moments as well.
I love the point of, you know, acknowledging this is a little out of your field, out of your scope, but finding those pockets where you can really relate, and I can imagine that intentionality is very valuable, and you feel seen, being like, oh, he knows I really don't listen to this, but but the way he's like trying to mesh it so like it fits with my own interests. That's a dedication because it takes research and things like that. So I love that. I love that. I love that goal. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was helpful. Like his family is very like sportsy. Like every time I go to their house, there's a sport on, and I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about this. So
Tiger Woods or Serena Williams playing. My family has the only two.
Like,
I love it.
That was very much not my family. Like it was giving news or like reality TV or like Disney Channel. So like in the beginning of the relationship it was hard because he was like football, all the things, and I'm like I don't know any of this. But I think he's understanding like she's not gonna get all of it. But like even just like me being there with him or like going to the Super Bowl parties or stuff like that, like even just coming shows that I care.
And that's how important it is. I think we like to call them SMART goals. I think that's I feel like that's a great step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, as we wrap up, do we have any additional reflections? Because we talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Talked about how you guys experience your lows sometimes, the little clashes or spats, and what you guys need from each other, so the spats aren't so severe.
Yeah.
And then we came up with a goal of using safe word. So anytime you're feeling overwhelmed by an argument or just a little spat, you can pull up your rewind. And be like, rewind or reset. You iron that out before y'all implement. Rewind or reset. So that gives the partner the signal, hey, we're going to attend to this in the future, but right now I just need a moment to decompress.
Yeah.
and then we wrapped up with, you know, what your perfect relationship might look like and how we would work towards that, especially when it comes to the goals of like both of y'all being enmeshed in your own personal interests and how your partner can play a role in that as well. Covered everything?
Yeah. I feel like we're in a good spot. This is good to like just talk about it and like really, truly like hash it out and decompress. So that was helpful.
Glad to hear. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear and there's nothing else, we'll wrap up. And I can't wait to hear from you guys soon. Take it, of course.